My name is Justice Chinema, the General Secretary for the Zimbabwe Diamond and Allied Minerals Workers Union, a registered trade union to represent the interests of mine workers in Zimbabwe. We were initially registered to represent the interests of diamond sector mine workers, and because of the consolidation that happened in Chiadzwa, we variated our scope to now cover the mining industry, which was approved in 2017. And we had our first Congress for the mining industry in 2019, and ever since 2019 we have been on the ground at every mine in every district, recruiting people, recruiting mine workers to be members of the union. And in terms of growth, we are developing ourselves to be one of the biggest trade unions in Zimbabwe, and regionally we are in consultation and we are competing to be like unions like NUMSA, NUM, AMCU of South Africa, where we are learning a lot on how they take trade unionism to their members. This industry, as you know, it's hazardous, and we are facing multiple challenges, and mine workers are facing multiple challenges. That include, number one, the issue of salary. We believe it is a challenge that needs to be nipped in the bud, because we are producers of foreign currency, and the salary that we are currently earning, the salaries that mine workers are currently earning, is slave wage. It is not commensurate with the work that we do. It is not commensurate with the minerals that we mine. It is not in line with the poverty datum line. It is also against what other regional countries are paying their mine workers. You see a mine which is mining in South Africa, like Anglo-American, they are paying a living wage in South Africa. But when they come here in Zimbabwe, they are paying a poverty wage. So we believe salary issue is a challenge. The second challenge is safety. A pond, especially those that has been closed, we are seeing a lot of accidents happening in the sector. We are also seeing big mines not investing in safety of workers. These mines were having accidents, people are dying, families left without a breadwinner, and there is nothing that has been done. Government has not done enough in terms of monitoring, supervising, and making sure compliance with the safety regulations and standards. So it's a challenge. We are also facing a challenge to do with knowledge abuse of workers by especially our friends from the East. We have seen the new investors coming in this country who believe workers, or who believe Zimbabweans are poor, who can be abused. It's to do with labor broking, which is rampant in the platinum mines. All big mines are now taking the labor broking as a way of stealing from the mines. We have seen mines engaging labor brokers who are managers of that particular mine, who are stealing from the workers. They get money from the company, they pay workers below the NEC standards, and we believe this must stop. We are also talking of non-payment of statutory things like the MIPF. Workers are retiring without anything remitted to the National Employment Council, and we are saying at this moment the MIPF Mining Pension Fund must have teeth to garnish all employers who do not remit deductions to the MIPF, because people are retiring into poverty without anything saved for them to retire and have a living after work. So these are the other issues that we are trying to are coming to use their influence and own mines in areas that they don't want to pay salaries that are set by the National Employment Council. So it's also a problem to us. Where a mine is owned by a politician, they will think they can do as they want, and we believe workers are being abused on that. It is a challenge. We are also seeing a challenge of the small scale being forced to work on hard areas, heat areas, especially the Wange area where we have coal mining. We are seeing our people being abused. So there is rampant abuse of workers, sexual harassment is rampant, physical abuse is rampant, overworking of people is rampant. So these are the challenges that we face. We are also facing a challenge in terms of the atmosphere, the environment that people are working under. We have politics within the mining community. Mine workers being beaten, they are working under hard conditions, they are working more hours than those required by law. The union Zidam has been fighting all along, and one way of fighting these things is to put structures at every mine, in every district. At the moment, we are on the right track of putting our structures. At every mine, you shall find the dam. In every district where mining is taking place, you shall find the dam taking issues of workers where they are supposed to be taken. We have also challenged the Labour Act. The Labour Act is being amended for purposes of incorporating or for purposes of admitting the dam into the National Employment Council. We believe the current system has made it very difficult for mining workers to challenge the unfair labor practice that is being practiced in the sector. So as a union, one, we are using engagement in the first instance. We are engaging every employer to make them understand that workers of the mining industry, workers have got rights in wage. And in that angle, we are succeeding. We are also taking those who are adamant, who doesn't want to talk, we are taking them to court. On that side, we are having cases that are before the National Employment Council, cases before the Labour Court, and we are winning them. This is a sign to show you that workers need service. Servicing of members across the country is part of the union, and in order for the workers to see their challenges being addressed, we are servicing them. We are taking the cases to court, we are winning them. We are also putting pressure to government. Government must be seen putting policies that protect the rights and interests of workers. This is a challenge which we are also pushing, and we are happy that government has seen reason to engage with the unions through TNF, and the dam is represented at TNF, where we believe these issues, the challenges that workers are facing, are being addressed. The last thing that we are saying, we want to see formalization of all mines, small-scale mines, the artisanal miners. They need to be formalized so that we take in what they are producing. We have seen rampant misdeclaration of minerals. Our minerals are being taken out of this country because we don't have any formal way of tapping those resources, and we want to see formalization of this. There are big mines that is closed. One biggest mine which we are concerned is Shaban Mashaba. This was a giant mine that used to employ over 7,000 workers, and it closed in 2004. It has been under an administrator called Mr. Mutausi Baradzimba, and we believe he has failed. And we also have mines like Anthens in Mvuma, we have a Reli mine in Bindura, we also have Madziva, we also have the Sandawana mine, Iron Juke. These were mines that were employing over 500 workers, and they have closed. What has happened with the closure of these mines is poverty in the community. There is no life in this community. People are living in squalor. Some have been evicted in the houses that they benefited because they were employed. For example, you go to Mashaba, we have workers, we have been waiting for outstanding salaries. They have been thrown out of houses. You go to Bindura, Athens mine, Reli mine, you find workers are now living in the bush because they have been evicted from their houses. You go to Wange, the mine, the people who had worked for 40 years because they have reached retirement age, because they have not been paid, they have been evicted and they are living in the bushes because the mines has been closed. We are looking for a situation where we want compensation to be done to those people who have been working, past employees of the mining sector and present. The issue of colonial compounding of people in compound bearing when people retire. We want to see workers owning their own houses instead of working for living in a mine house. We would rather have them earning a wage that will lead them to buy their own stands and houses, rather than the current situation which is happening is not healthy for the mining. Workers are working on short-term fixed contracts, which is a problem. You find, we believe mining sector has got a geological survey which tells how long does a mine going to survive mining the mineral. And we also think the contracts that the workers should sign, or that the employer should make their workers sign, should be in line with the period that they are going to be working at the mine. But here we are finding people signing fixed term contracts, 3 months, 1 month, for 20 years, 40 years. This is against the principle of better standards of work. We expect to see workers on permanent, and we also have the statutory instrument 109 of 1993 that speaks about underground workers who must be on permanent. But across the country, where we find our lashers who works under and miners, they are signing fixed term contract. We are also talking of the law. The Labour Act number 5 of 2015 had directed National Employment Councils to go and amend and put a cap on the period that an employee can sign a contract. Our National Employment Council is dead and it is in the intensive care. They have not even bothered to amend the CBA so that we put a stop on the casualization of labor. And we are seeing our workers being used and dumped without anything to show that they've been working in the mining industry because of the short-term contract that they are working. Education. We believe education is power. We are training our workers to know when they are to know their rights and to know when they are violated, and also to know how to challenge the capitalists who are violating our rights. So we are on the ground trying to train and educate our members of everything that affects them at the workplace. And through the support of industry or where we are affiliated, the training programs are underway. We are training women, we are training young workers, we are also training the leadership of the union from the mine level, which is the workers' committee, to the national executive of the union, so that we are fully aware and we are full active in representing our members across the country. Remember, taking over every mine in this country, I want to answer it in two ways. Number one, it's a positive way in terms of job creation, because some of these mines that Kuvimba has taken over has been closed, particularly the ZMDC owned mines. We talk of Sandawana mines, we talk of Evington mine, we talk of Shamba that had closed. These mines are reopening, and that's jobs creation and job security to the people who have been living in those areas. So we believe in a positive way, job creation is what we want. Most of our youth have not been working, and by opening those mines, Kuvimba is doing a good job. Then also on a positive note, we have seen some of these mines have been owned by multinational companies who closed these mines due to any other reason that we don't know. Kuvimba, we have seen it is a partnership of government and some local investors who are bringing in investment to invest in the mining, including the pension fund or whatever. It's a positive move as well. It is a Zimbabwean company that is bringing in investment, and it's good for our country. Whenever foreigners want to leave, we still have somewhere to lie on. But monopolization of our resources is also dangerous. This is where we see cartels being created. A person, one company that owns everything in a country is not good for the general public, because it means they will be controlling everything. They will control the mineral resources. Who stops them from going to other sectors of the economy? I don't think it's a good move to have only one organization being everywhere. It will corrupt the country. It will have cartels who will capture the government, and you can only work through the influence of cartels. So in terms of having cartels in our country, I don't think it's good. It's bad for us, because the cartels will be stealing the resources for their own benefit and control politics and control everyone, because they will have money everywhere. So in terms of monopolizing the economy, I don't think it's Chinese. I don't want to be someone who doesn't accept investment in the country. We want investors, but we are saying the conditions that these investors from China are coming to the sector is not, it seems it's not fair, because one, they don't want to follow the local labor laws. They don't want even to respect our culture in the areas that they come to mine. They also don't want to follow the other government department like environmental. They don't even want to, even NASA, to put people on NASA pension. They don't want. So it seems this investment, the Look East policy, need to be revisited. We need to put conditions on who should come and invest, whether from China, Russia, America, or what, not necessarily looking on one area. We are saying the conditions of investment in this country on the area of workers must be spelled out and known, that if you don't want to follow the laws, the labor laws of this country, you are supposed to be charged out of this country. We cannot have people coming to invest, to loot beat our people, abuse our people, and take our resources at the same time. We want to see a change of policy that put conditions. We also want to see our government putting a condition that when you come and you are interested to mine in a certain district, you need to start put infrastructure that benefits the community. In schools, roads, instead they are damaging the roads that has been there. So these are the areas that we think, if we are to talk of investment, let's put conditions that benefits the general public of this country, the communities where mining is taking place, the workers who are going to be employed in those mines need to be protected. We cannot just have investors who come and do as they want, as if our policy is saying, come and abuse, then you take with the money intended by labor experts. We want to be consulted. Government must learn to consult. How do you see this investor? We investigate. We also interrogate the investor and make them commit themselves to say we are going to respect the laws of the country. We are going to respect labor laws. We are going to respect cultural laws in those communities. We cannot just have people coming in and out and do as they want. That's the area that I think needs some improvement. We don't care who comes to invest, but as long as you follow the dictates of our labor laws, you follow the dictates of our cultures, you follow the dictates of our other laws that are in this country with laws that need to be respected. And if that is done, I tell you, we will not be pointing that this is a Chinese, this is an Indian. We will be talking of investors. And any investor that should come in this country should come well aware that there are conditions and there are people, there are issues to be followed, there are regulations to be followed, not to just come and mine and take our resources without any benefit to the country.